scholars. So today I'm going to be going through some of the benchmark work that you are going to be doing this week. I am going to very quickly talk through what you should be doing for Monday's work, and then after that we're going to go more in depth into what Tuesday's work should look like. Now again, and this applies for math and ELA, the pacing guide, the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, what to do Monday, what to do Tuesday, what to do Wednesday, that is suggested, which means you don't need to do that. This is a really hard time for a lot of us, and so I am not going to be mad at you if you don't get Monday's work done on Monday, don't get Tuesday's work done on Tuesday. The only thing that I ask is that by Friday you have completed all of your work. And of course, if you can't, you can always message me, let me know what's going on. But if I see that you're missing some work, I'm going to be talking to your families, trying to figure out what I can do to better support you so that you can get this work done, because you are going to 6th grade next year, and it is important that you get to work on these things so you continue to build your skills towards a 6th grade readiness level. All right? So really quickly, if you go into our benchmark slides, which you can find in our Google Classroom, if you go here, we have, this is our benchmark slides, here's our math slides, and it even tells you what week it's for. This is April 13th to 17th. If you go into them and you see, it tells us our essential question, which is what compels people to survive, and then it tells us what the story will be. The next slide says the story is an excerpt from The Call of the Wild, and for Monday, our purpose, what we want to do is to use our knowledge to make predictions about a text and to be able to use the graphic elements of a text, so a picture. We have a special guest now, but to use the pictures to help me understand the text. Then when you go in here, you'll see that I want you to read the introduction to the story. If you click in the green, you'll get to the introduction of the story. And then after you read the introduction, I want you to look through the pictures. Again, you click in the green, you'll be able to see the pictures. And then your exit ticket, so the exit ticket is that's the work expected for the day, is to create a Flipgrid video with what you think this text will be about. And there are some sentence frames here to help you with that. And that's it for Monday. If you look at the next slide, it says Tuesday. And Tuesday, our story is the same story, and this time our purpose is to read the first 8 paragraphs to learn about Buck's experience. So we need to learn about this I don't know who Buck is, but we're going to learn about their experience. And specifically, we want to be able to pull key details from a text to write a summary of a character's experience. So we're going to be looking for details in the story that tell us about Buck's experience, and that is going to be what we're going to end up using for our exit ticket. So if you go to the next page, it says instructions, read paragraphs 1 through 8 of this story. If you click on it, it will take you to the story. Now, you have 2 options. Either you can read it, you can actually zoom in and out on this, and you can read it like this, and as you're reading, you can take notes on a piece of paper if you have that, or you have this other option. You see this arrow here. You click download. It should download to a folder on your Chromebook, and once you download it, you can open it up, you can save it, and then you can see it here. And once you see it here, you should be able to see a little marker thing up here, and it's got a couple options. So you click the marker, and let me just move this closer so you can see more of me. You click the marker, you click this pencil looking thing with a scribbly line, and that will enable you to draw lines. And if you mess up, you hit Control Z, it should take you back a step. And then if you actually click here on this little T, it gives you an option to write a text box. So one way to take notes on this, like I said before, is you read the story, and you just write your notes, remembering, thinking about the whole time that the whole point of this, what we're doing, is we're trying to read to learn about Buck's experience. Our purpose for reading, what we're reading, is to learn about Buck's experience. So when I'm reading through the story, highlighting and annotating the key events, I'm looking for the ones that are about Buck's experience, right? So I'm going to go through and I'm going to sort of model this. And what I like to think about when I'm thinking about a character's experience is, how would I feel if I was Buck? Sometimes it will be very obvious, sometimes it will be less obvious. So let's go ahead and get started. It says Buck. That's what I'm supposed to be reading about. Buck's first day on the Daya Beach was like a nightmare. Oh, that already tells me something. That's already something that I would want to know, because I happen to know that if something is like a nightmare, it's probably not good. So I would write here, and I'm going to use a text box to help me. Buck's experience is not good. Now for me, normally nightmares are scary. It is probably scary. And so I'm going to take this, I'm going to make it so it fits here, right? Buck's experience is not good. It's scary. And I can actually, if I use this, I can change how big it is, make it smaller so it fits. All right, so Buck's experience is like a scary nightmare, right? Let's keep going. Every hour was filled with shock and surprise. He had been suddenly jerked from the heart of civilization and flung into the heart of things primordial. I don't know what primordial means, but here I see this little one, so I go down to my footnotes. Primordial means primitive. Primitive, I know what it means. It's like before time. So it's very old and scarier, right? Think like cave people. No lazy sun-kissed life was this, with nothing to do but loaf and be bored. So this was it was not a lazy sun-kissed life with nothing to do but be bored. Here was neither peace nor rest nor a moment's safety. So for me, again, thinking about Buck's experience, if I am dealing with, let me make a better line, if I'm dealing with not a moment's safety, nor a moment's safety, not a moment's safety, then again, it's telling me that I'm unsafe, that I'm nervous, I'm scared, and I'm worried for myself. Because if I'm not safe, generally I'm worried for my well-being, for my safety. So again, I'm going to add a text box, and I'm going to drag it here, and I'm going to say Buck was not safe. So these are examples of where we can find things in the text that tell us about Buck's experience that are explicit, that are right there in the text. It tells us, all right, it was like a nightmare, it wasn't safe. They're right there in the text. But as we keep reading, I want you to keep in mind, if I was Buck, maybe it won't tell me what I was feeling, but I can infer or understand what Buck would be feeling based on how I would be feeling. And I'm going to show you what I mean in a minute. So, all was confusion and action. Every moment, life and limb were in peril. Peril, what do you think that means based on the context, based on the fact that there's no safety, that it's scary? What do you think that might mean? There was imperative need to be constantly alert. These dogs and men were not town dogs and men. They were savages, all of them, who knew no law but the law of Club and Fang. So here, it doesn't say Buck was feeling this, right? Buck was feeling unsafe. Buck was feeling like his life was a nightmare. But it does say they were savages. It says that the dogs and men that he was living around were savages. Savages are people who are, or dogs who are not civilized. They don't care. It says here they don't care about law and order. So they don't, it might it might point me to the idea that it's scary there, right? So this, and I'll write a text box this, it says that since they were savages, it probably means that he was scared to be around them. And the way I can think about this is if I was brought to a place, savages are generally known for like being very violent, being likely to attack somebody. So if I were Buck and I was brought to a place where everyone was a savage, then I would probably be very scared, right? Because in my mind, if I was brought to a place where someone might attack me, I would be very scared. And let's keep going with this idea. He had never seen dogs fight as these wolfish creatures fought, and his first experience taught him an unforgettable lesson. It is true, it was a vicarious experience. Oh, I see I'm frozen, so give me 1 second. It was a vicarious experience. What that means is that it didn't happen to him. A vicarious experience means it happened to somebody else, but I know about it. So let's say, maybe somebody in your life, you saw that somebody was mean to them. Let's say I was mean to one of your friends. Then maybe I wasn't mean to you, but because of what you saw happen to a friend, you still feel something about me. I was mean to your friend, so you feel negatively about me, even though it didn't happen to you. And that makes sense. A lot of us deal with things that way. So it was a vicarious experience, else he would not have lived to profit by it. So whatever this experience was, if it happened to him, he would not have lived. Curly was the victim. So something happens to this dog, Curly. They were camped near the log store where she, in her friendly way, made advances to a husky dog the size of a full-grown wolf, though not half so large as she. There was no warning. There was only a leap, in like a flash, metallic clip of teeth, a leap of equally swift, and Curly's face was ripped open from eye to jaw. So I'm going to read that again. That does not sound good. It says, Curly was the victim. So there's a dog named Curly that was a victim, and Buck, the dog that we're talking about, saw something happen to Curly. He saw that she, in her friendly way, made advances to a husky dog the size of a full-grown wolf, though not half so large as she. There was no warning. There was only a leap, in like a flash, a metallic clip of teeth, a leap out equally swift, and Curly's face was ripped open from eye to jaw. So here what happens. Again, this doesn't directly say what Buck was feeling. But if I'm Buck and I see this dog Curly being a victim where her face is ripped open from eye to jaw, I will vicariously or through that still feel some type of way. So let's say you're a dog and you see another dog's face get ripped open. How are you going to feel? Probably very, very scared. You'll probably be very nervous. And you probably won't want to go near the dog that was like a wolf that did this. So I would say Buck saw Curly get attacked and her face got ripped. Sorry, let me just move this so you can see as I'm writing and you can stay with the text. And her face got ripped open. Buck is probably scared, nervous, and does not want to be around these dogs. Now, how do I know this? I'm going to infer it. I'm going to infer it because, again, if I saw my friend's face get ripped open, I would be scared, I would be nervous, and I would not want to go around the person that did that to them, right? So that's what I'm going to think about. So your job is now to read paragraph 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So you're reading up to here. And you're going to continue to read about what Buck experienced, either directly or through other things. And you're going to go ahead and write in an exit ticket in a short paragraph, explain what Buck's experience was like. Was it a good experience, a bad experience? Give some specifics, right? Of what happened. Why does he feel the way he feels? The way that you're going to do this in our Google Classroom, you're going to go to classwork. You're going to look for the Law of Club and Fang exit ticket Tuesday. You'll click in here and everybody has their own. And it says, after reading paragraphs 1 through 8, the Law of Club and Fang, write a short paragraph explaining what Buck experience on Daya Beach was like. And you will write your answer here. I hope this was helpful. Of course, come to my office hours if you have any questions. I miss you very, very, very much. And I will see you soon. Bye, scholars.